Hello, awakened beings. Welcome to this channel. Here I do tarot and oracle readings to support you along your spiritual journey. If that interests you, feel free to check out any other content on this channel as well as interact with this video as you feel called to. Today's reading is titled Hidden Messages. Okay, we're starting with Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising here. Okay, so hidden messages. I'm going to tune into the person and what they want to say to you. All right, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's go. Hidden messages here. Ooh, we got the Devil. Okay. Why are these cards upside down? There we go. Okay, got the Devil. Strength. Page of Pentacles. We got Nine of Swords. Okay, so the person that I'm tuning into is somebody who is dealing with, honestly, what just came up. Let me hold the cards up. I always forget. Sorry. What just came up was the term spiritual warfare. Okay, so, and then we have Nine of Swords here. So I'm picking up the energy of somebody who is feeling like they're under spiritual attack, like they feel like with the Nine of Swords, their mind could just kind of be confused or just anxious, afraid. Honestly, with the Nine of Swords is more so afraid than anything. So there's heavy fear here. And then we also have Strength card on the board as well. So let me pause on that for a second. But I do feel like, so this person feels like they're under attack mentally and spiritually. Or, you know, I just see that impacting the relationship. But I do see this person facing that, because if you look at this woman here and this other person, they're facing each other for one. But then again, we also have the Strength card here. So I do feel like there are, and we also have the Tower and Three of Swords. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. So let me just try to keep it in order. But with the Tower here, I just feel like this relationship, it feels like it buckled under pressure for change. And so with Three of Swords, you know, this is somebody who's healing from the past or healing from some sort of a wound. And then we have Four of Swords here, where this person is needing to step away and rest and really get their mind in order. And so I just feel like self-care, like this could have been somebody who, you know, wasn't making time for self-care and things like that. And so it really just kind of let their mind spiral deeper and deeper into the wound instead of like patching it up. You see, this person is literally just sitting here isolated. So I do feel like this is somebody who could have, you know, isolated or been a little bit more avoidant. But this gives me the energy of somebody who didn't face their fears, that didn't confront, you know, their wounds, their past, their traumas, their addictions, you know, things like that. And that really just kind of burned down the relationship. And so as far as what they want to say, I do feel like you could have been, you know, a safe space for this person. They could have been learning to be a little bit more vulnerable or learning to manage their emotions or something like that. And then we have Page of Pentacles. And so I do see that this person is wanting to get that in check. With the Tower card, this is showing me that they're wanting to reconstruct. And so with the Nine of Swords and Three of Swords here, this tells me the state that their mind was in, that their spirit was in, is not very healthy, not very empowered, to be honest with you. Very rocky waters, you know, the mind and the emotions were very linked. And so because their mind was so weakened, I don't really want to use that word, but that's just what came up. Maybe they felt like their mind was weakened, or you saw it that way, something like that. But anyways, they weren't, you know, to their full potential, right? And so what this is telling me is that they're wanting to reconstruct themselves. And with that, you know, just kind of strengthen who they are, and tune into that courage to face their fears, to face things head on. I do also feel like there could be a conversation that they've been avoiding. So this could be somebody that you're not necessarily in contact with regularly, or just maybe not even at all at this point. But I do feel like part of that is because of the state that they're in. And so I do feel like once they kind of build their strength up and, burn certain bridges here, and build on top of that, because in order to build something more, stable and more stable, sometimes you have to tear down what was there before and build it better, right? So I just feel like that's what this person is doing, especially with this Page of Pentacles here. And so I do want to say what I'm seeing and what they're saying is with this Page of Pentacles, it's like they're in the beginning stages of that. So they're working on tearing some things down, and I feel like maybe your relationship with that person is something that kind of got torn down a little bit. I don't know how much so. I don't know if it's burned completely to the ground or if there's still some stubble, or maybe it's halfway. I don't know. But I do feel, obviously your relationship with them was impacted, but they are seeking to, rebuild themselves in a way, and therefore changing the dynamic of the relationship. Okay. What else? Anything else here? I do feel like somebody wants to apologize. I'm just looking at this lion here. And I do feel like they're a little bit more humble. So if this is somebody who, struggles to admit when they're wrong or struggles to apologize, I do feel like there's sincerity here. Yeah. I feel like there's sincerity and humility. And honestly, like I said, if they are somebody who struggles with apologizing and things like that, this tower moment that they're having or have had, and are building on top of, it's changing them, And so I do feel like, the person that you knew who might have been a little bit more stubborn and prideful, we got the lion here, maybe a little bit more combative. It seems like they're more regulated, sincere, and humble. Okay. Clarify anything else here that you want to say? Miracle. Okay. It just kind of feels like, new life for them. It could also be that there's something in this person's life that they're beginning to see as a miracle or something to be grateful for. And so that's helping with like this healing process. So it could be that there's some other tower moment or change or something that has come in for them, to help with their own personal journey. Okay, confusion. So I do feel like this could have to do with, so with the miracle coming out first and then the confusion, I do feel like this has to do, like whatever blessing came in or clarity or, shift in work or relationship, something like this that they may consider a miracle. I feel like that helped to clear up their mental state, because again, the first card out was Nine of Swords. And I was telling you, they're just kind of, they felt under attack in their mind. They felt unsafe in their mind and also in their spirit. And so I do feel like, look at these cards compared to each other. Like they've gotten clarity. They've kind of weeded out the voices or, whatever was going on with them, especially with this Devil card here. They could have had some sort of attachments that were impacting, their behaviors and the way that they think and stuff. So, but I do see that clearing up. Okay. Let's do, hold on, I like to do a parting card. So I like these affirmations. Y'all know me. Okay, so let's just do one final card here. Doubt. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises, but you can say, free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. Okay, so I wonder if, I don't know, I feel like that's mainly for your person, but if it is for you, that message in particular, I do feel like maybe you're just kind of wondering what's going on with them, you'll hear from them, if they're doing okay. It feels very let me figure out what I'm feeling. Yes, it feels sincere. Yeah, I think that's the best word. It feels sincere, like you're genuinely like wondering if this person's all right and if they're healing, if they're okay. Like there's this genuine feeling of like, I hope they're okay. Are they safe? So with this card coming out, if this message is for you in particular, I feel like this is something to kind of settle your mind of like, yes, they are okay. And they're just kind of going through a tower moment, to be honest. And this tower moment is trying to help them release attachments and heal from certain things. So, and we have the strength card too. I want to pull one more card because here's the thing. Spirit never gives us challenges that we cannot overcome. And so with the state of this person, it really feels like they felt like they couldn't overcome, that they just kind of felt trapped. They felt attacked. They felt unsafe. They just felt like in this hole. And so I just want to double check in real quick, just kind of like, what's going on with them? How are they doing? Because, yeah, we're never tasked with anything that we can't overcome, but this person has had trouble seeing the rainbow at the end, or seeing the grass over yonder. You know what I'm saying? So let me just check in, Spirit. How are they doing? Oh, we got Temperance. Okay, so the traditional temperance, the person has their foot on the water and then one foot on the land. Okay, and temperance is about transmutation, turning one thing into another. So typically, this is my card of like turning pain into prosperity. Sharing stories that are hurtful or wounds and all that, those kind of icky things, and taking it and turning it into things that are more of a blessing. Okay, turning it into opportunity. Okay, so this is what Spirit is saying, is that this person is working on transmuting their situation, finding the blessing in it, or trying to benefit from it, and take their lessons, take their growth, that kind of thing. And look at how big these wings are as well. Okay, so that's what Spirit communicated. So readings are for entertainment purposes only. But thank you so much for tuning in. Good luck on your journey. Ashe.